Good evening. Welcome to the Prescott BIA Board of Management meeting, August 13th. I call the meeting to order at 5:31. The first item on the agenda is, can I have a mover for the agenda? Charity, and a seconder? Nicole, all in favor? Item number 3, and does anyone have any declarations of interest this evening? No? No delegations tonight. Minutes of the previous meeting. The recommendation is that the minutes dated July 9th, 2024 be accepted as presented. Can I have a mover? Jeannie, and a seconder? Nicole, all in favor? Carried. Item 6, the financial report. Nicole?
Okay, so our revenue of 29,000, nothing has changed with the administration expense, which is 10,499. The only thing we've added is, let me just double check here. 1,500 for the civic holiday weekend, so it brings us to $4,000. And then also 100 for the Folk Fest sponsorship as well, which brings us to 5,867 for the marketing promotions. And you go down just and nothing else has changed. And our subtotal is 18,365. And we have the reserves as well that we haven't added, still the same with 25,399 and 20,399.
Okay. Thank you, Nicole. A motion then, the recommendation is that the financial report be accepted as presented. Can I have a mover? Jeannie, and a seconder, Holly, all in favor? Motion passed. Item number 7, that's for me. I just wanted to point out that the Shakespeare play on, it's an inspired mixtape. I guess it's Shakespeare's rock, for want of a better way of describing it. And so it's playing starting tonight, I guess, until Saturday, I think. And but one thing that I noticed that was really good that I always forget to mention is that you can buy an add-on, a voucher for one of the restaurants in town. So you can pay an extra $20 and get a $25 voucher. So I thought that was good to point out. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was the civic holiday Saturday, which was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. And I did want to say a special thank you to the special events committee and Charity for all of your ideas and enthusiasm. And it turned out really well. We had so many great participants, and I just thought it was really well done and really, really well received. And people are really wanting it to be an annual event again. So it was nice to see that.
Yeah.
And seeing as how Dana and Justin were so great at putting it together in a very short time, if we know it's going to be an annual event, we can, make it even bigger and better for next year. But I think there was something for everybody. And the fact that parents could bring their whole family. I know there was a family beside us and they had, 4 children. It was like, hey, I can actually bring my family here and not spend a fortune. So I think it was really appreciated. One other thing to mention is the community art project that's still going on. So just go down to the creation station at the pop-ups and pick your tile and paint it, and it'll be added to our public mural. And I think that's everything for me.
How long are the tiles there for, Tracy?
How long are they going to be there, Jeff?
So they'll be there as long as they're open, so to the Thanksgiving weekend. But I would imagine they're probably going to be painted up before that.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks. I saw some really nice ones. Charity and her daughters did one.
About it. I'm like, how many can you do? I've only done one. We've only done one. When do we get to go around to? No, it's cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
And they did a really great job, your daughters.
Well, I can't wait to see, just because all the different levels and kids and adults, it's going to be so neat when she puts it together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 8, committee reports, civic holiday event planning. Justin, recap?
So I'll very quickly go over this because the updates will cover most of the outcome of this, but at the working group meeting on July 25th, had the sort of last run through of the civic holiday planning. which ends up with the sidewalk sale and the idea of the downtown wide activation, and especially the involvement of the community groups in that downtown activation.
That's good. So we'll move on to item number 9, staff update. And Justin.
We'll start with the King Street Promenade, of course. I'm going to start with this Facebook live stream video that was 5 minutes long, but it's been down 2.5 here now. Walk through the entire downtown space about, I think that was about 1:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's the face painter and the balloonist and the caricaturist.
Oh, that was Sophia. I couldn't believe how big that slide looked when you like approached it. I was like, whoa, we're not messing around. And those bubbles.
Did they go in the balls?
They did, not me. They did.
So the company did that, and the employee, I guess the employee maybe took around 45 minutes to get them set up. And this was neat. A bunch of the farmers market vendors grabbed sidewalk chalk and
Oh.
designs in front of their stalls.
Big.
It's a Legion Food Bank,
That's so awesome.
Giant Jenga.
There was like so much awesome stuff. We didn't even take it in. Like I was with the girls on the other end. This is cool to see all this. I didn't even make it down this far. Look at it all.
Magician.
Oh, there's where he was. There he
He
is.
moved, he was a roving.
Oh yeah,
magician.
actually, yeah. We did catch part of his show down by the slide. Yeah, that's right.
We had tons of kids drawing on the wall all day. Alongside Chalky.
The wall was pretty much filled by the end of the day.
Yeah. It was great, and with all nice stuff too. Very
Well
positive
done.
message.
Well done, Prescott. That is awesome.
We'll just go through some of the individual stuff. So the sidewalk sale was 17 businesses participating and numerous offered sales. Those are screenshots from the live feed, but we do have much better photos of the sidewalk sale setups throughout downtown. The farmers market, there were 16 total vendors. They set up on the sort of east block of King Street West, the 100 block in front of the apartment buildings, down through there. They, to a person, were incredibly happy with the day down there. Ocean Blooms Florals said that he was sold out of the tropical flowers before 1 p.m. that day. Out in front, so it was a very good day for them. There were 10 total community groups participating, including like the fire department, the OPP came down for the touch truck. The OPP also set up an auxiliary information and recruitment operations, brought down one of their pieces of equipment for the day. Grenville Historical Society and Spencerville Mill set up beside the Museum and Visitor Center with some information. The Legion and the Food Bank were down with information, and the Legion brought down one of their new Legion approved games for the day, and the curling club set up their inflatable outdoor curling setup so people could try curling and did some member recruitment. There was live music throughout the downtown space during the day, so we had basically 5 separate locations for the live music. King Street West, which was King at George Street, at the Clock Tower, by the patio in front of Vesta Farmers Market, on the promenade, and at the pop-up. And throughout the day, there was always music at 2 separate locations. So there'd be music at the Clock Tower and the promenade, at the west and the east throughout the day. And all that music was arranged by Upper Canada Folk Fest. So they were Folk Fest related musicians who were throughout the downtown. And Folk Fest came down to the pop-ups to sell tickets during one of the performances down there as well. And of course, there's the buskers, the magician Rob Power, who rode throughout the downtown and down to the pop-ups area. Face painter, Cara Gilby, caricaturist, and a balloon artist. So the face painter, caricaturist, and balloon artist stayed sort of central on this block, just beside the inflatables. And Rob went throughout the space throughout the day and just sort of did a roving magic act. I know all of them, but especially the caricaturist, the balloon artist, and the face painter were essentially busy from the time they set up till the end of the day. We're lined up. And Chalky, the sidewalk artist. So he did what you'd almost call a more permanent design on there this year. When he does that, it has to be a lot simpler than his classical art work. But in this case, he did a sort of 3D representation of the lighthouse and the Prescott logo. And that should be somewhat resilient to the elements for quite a while. The one that was done by Chalkmaster Dave at the Clock Tower on the August long weekend last year is still fairly visible. He did the downtown Prescott logo in a cannon. So that should have some staying power down there.
Good.
So that, if anyone has any questions or comments about the Civic Long weekend, the King Street Promenade, or go on to routine piece.
Anyone have any
It
comment?
was busy, it was good.
Yeah.
Good variety.
There was, before I go on, a lot of positive feedback, not just from people like the market vendors, but also businesses, restaurants downtown, and just from people that were down visiting and throughout during the day. That was constant throughout the day, and it was very well received.
And it's so interesting to see where some of the tourists are from. Like I met a guy from Atlanta at the tourist booth. It's just, you don't realize who's coming through. But yeah, he was there and he was buying a Prescott t-shirt. So.
I just have one thing. When I was talking with the people in, for example, my building, they had said that they wished that they had had more heads up about it. So, but I think you said it was going to be an annual thing. So in that case, I think that negates the idea that they need more of a heads up. Although it would be a good idea to send an early reminder.
Yeah, like save the date.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which we've done. That's already been sent out to all the participating vendors and businesses.
I did see that. And then but I do think it would be a good idea to do that again, like in June or something like that. Just because
Jog everyone's
Yeah,
memories.
Remember, we decided to plan this thing 3 weeks before.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but I do appreciate that save the date because I saw that, but I think it would be a good idea to send one more like next year, a little bit closer to the event, but not too close. So that's all.
Even the Chamber of Commerce can fit it in their newsletters and stuff too. That'd be kind of good.
And it was really nice to see a true sidewalk sale.
Yeah.
Where the barricades were up and everything. It was really nice.
And it's special, and even when there's actually sales, like, you know
Yeah.
how sometimes
Yeah.
there's, but there were really good deals. And I know I stopped by Cozy Closet and she was busy the whole time.
Yeah.
Were you guys busy, Belinda?
Very,
Yeah.
I wasn't there, Jordan was there.
Yeah.
It's very steady.
Lots of times they have like a barbecue set up in the middle too, so the smell brings everybody. And like with the real barbecue, burgers or hot dogs or something.
Yeah.
We did try it and we discussed that as a committee, and I think we made the decision to purposely not bring any outside food vendors in because we really wanted the local restaurants to try and get, you know, the most benefit from the activities that were happening, but certainly something that we could look at in the future.
Or have maybe those local businesses bring a barbecue to the.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately, I think it was just notice, right?
Yeah,
Next
yeah,
year,
yeah,
more
future
planning. We did have a
ideas.
few that expressed interest, like I think Chuck's was one of those that said if they just had a bit more planning time, we would have done something right out in the parking lot, right?
Yeah, that would have been good for them.
Yeah, but I think it was a really good, you know, like everyone said, it was a good start. People will know it's, you know, we'll certainly be promoting it much earlier next year now that we know it's gonna be an
Yeah,
annual thing.
seed is planted and now everyone individually will be thinking what they can do in the meantime. Yeah, yeah, it was so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything about it.
I think you always wonder how something's going
Dressed
to
in a
be
two-seat
received,
skirt,
right? And so, so well, now we know.
Yeah.
Good
And we
spirit.
were actually talking about trying in January, what we're going to try and do, January, February, as early as we can. Just for our promotional purposes, we always try to gather the events for rack carts and, you know, website, social media, so that we can be sending these out. So we're gonna try and get a really good handle on all of those events and actually send communication out to businesses and say, here's your list of events that are opportunities to participate throughout 2025, whether it be vendors for pop-ups, downtown events. And again, like really try and get more notice out there because, certainly some businesses are very busy and just need a little bit more time.
And might I suggest if you do that, send it out multiple times for, even if some of the events have passed, because what happens is sometimes we just get so busy working in our business that we forget to do, that we're like, oh, we need 100 reminders.
Yeah.
So we appreciate that.
I can only imagine how much you must get bombarded with communications that are outside of what the town sends, and we send a lot.
Did anybody else have anything to add? Okay, we'll move on to the poutine feast. Dana or Jeff?
Justin.
Yeah.
So Poutine Feast was not that long ago, but it feels like it was
Is he
now.
okay?
It was the
Yeah, I can't-
18th, 21st of July down in the event space beside the pop-ups. So they came in with, I believe there was a total of 6 or 7 different food trucks with 3 different poutine trucks down in the event space. A large number of people throughout the weekend down there. There was the poutine contest, best poutine contest at the end of the event with judges from the local area to go through the top poutines of each of the trucks and choose a winner. I'm forgetting what the winner was. I believe it was
The taco was.
Taco.
One with the sour cream,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taco one. We also did a little promotion leading up in the week leading up to it of all the local restaurants that have poutine on the menu, and both O'Heife's and Tim's Fish and Chips had promotions during the week with their poutines that we shared through the Downtown Prescott Facebook and the Explore Prescott Facebook. So during Poutine Feast, there was music down at the pop-up site throughout the weekend. Free salmon on the July 18th, when we also had the Riverwalk Thursdays night market down there. Isabel and Jimmy Martin on July 19th. Farmers Market was there for July 20th. Music throughout the day, and Jumpin' Jimmy, who had a number of poutine, curd, and gravy related jokes on closed it out on July 21st. So that was a good weekend. There was good weather all weekend long down there. A good turnout throughout the pop-ups. You saw a lot of people walking between the sites and back into the downtown from down there. So I think overall that was a good weekend. The event was good, a good weekend for a lot of the businesses down there too. jump right to the most recent event, the Spiritual Wellness Fair, which was held just this past weekend. I believe there were close to 30 vendors down in the event space, and the host was Star Wellness, Krista Johnson, who's a downtown Prescott business. This is the second year they've organized that. They also had music, Isabel again in the morning, and Amanda Keeley in the afternoon. That's Isabel on stage, with the stage over in the event space and the fort in the background. Last year, they hosted it on the same weekend, and it was the same weekend that the Great Waterfront Trail Adventure came through town, and there was a torrential downpour at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon that day, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon that day, that sort of washed them out. This year, as you can see from the pictures, the weather was perfect throughout the day on Saturday. It was really well attended again. Parking running up to King Street and up to the fort was pretty much taken, and I took a drive through the downtown about 1 o'clock that day, and it seemed like basically throughout the downtown there was not a parking spot to be had. People were walking through King Street into restaurants, into stores throughout the downtown. So I think there were a lot of visitors that came in, and they migrated throughout all those areas. The farmers market that day was back on the promenade, and there were quite a number of people through, a larger number than usual through there on Saturday. And it seemed to be a good day where people were coming in, they were going to that event, and they were circulating throughout the more general area throughout the day.
Justin, do you know, are they planning it again for next year?
I believe it's their intention to have it every year.
Okay. Do they look for sponsors at all, or?
No, because it's a relatively low cost event for her to
Okay.
organize. It's really just about bringing outside vendors in. I'm not exactly sure what she charges for, vendors to come in as part of the event, but that goes back into her marketing, and I think it's probably breaking pretty even for her. So the town at this point, we don't charge rent for our event space, the open green space. We charge for facilities, amphitheater, many other facilities. But for the open green space, we don't. There are quite a few municipalities that do and have entered into that, just because it certainly generates expense for the town staff to bring in some of those amenities to support the events. But again, from that perspective, it's a very low maintenance event from the town side too. So, these are the kind of events that we absolutely love to have. They require nothing for water, power. It is a very easy event to host, and it brings a lot of people. So, yeah.
That's nice.
Well, the third party person doing it really lightens your load for something different too, eh? And it gives a different spin on it. I think that's.
And that's really what we're trying to transition towards more and more, attracting events like the Spiritual Wellness Fair, Poutine Feast, hopefully Rib Fest in future years, maybe a brewery fest down the road, but really trying to rely on those third-party event providers to bring them in, so it's not on the town. Because I can attest that even that civic holiday weekend, that was, significant expense, certainly, not only from just the cash layout standpoint, but from the labor, the actual human side of it that has to be factored in too. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's so great that she took the initiative to dream
Yeah.
the dream, and it would be so nice to see other businesses dream up something like that as well.
And that's where we do encourage a lot of our businesses to, and have had a lot of success with smaller activations. Old Magic is a good example. She's done a lot of different spiritual events. She's had psychic fairs as part of the pop-up. So we're always open to that. And any business that has an idea, we strongly encourage you to reach out to us, and we can certainly provide support from marketing and in-kind.
And that's great information about the space, because I didn't know it was
Yeah.
a free space, so.
Yeah.
That's good. Neat.
Nice. Anyone else? Okay. Downtown art update?
Next up, downtown art. Tracy had mentioned this a little earlier, but the mural project is well underway. 3 of the 4 photos have been put on the tiles, so you can start painting them. I think each weekend you probably see a dozen to a couple dozen tiles painted. There's almost always someone at the station at the pop-ups painting one. There's 3 examples of completed tiles from the marina photo there, and Mayor Shankar painting his tile over the weekend. So if you want to paint one, you can just go down to Studio Martin, the creation station, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and pick out which one you'd like. Essentially, how it works, if you look at the photo under Public Art Project there, is that there's an example of the actual photo, and it's done in a grid. So on the back of each one of these tiles, it has a grid number, so you can locate your tile that you're painting, and then you can get an idea of the colors that you should be using, so it matches the finished product and an example of what it should look like, and then you start painting. So we also had the tiles up at Tracy's station on the Civic Holiday weekend up at the museum, so people could come up then, and that was actually the 3rd photo that's not there, which is the clock tower photo. So you could look up at the clock tower while you're there and get a sense of it while you're painting your clock tower, portrait. And then the final photo will be the from Canada Day, a photo that Ashton took of the cannon being fired at the port. So it has soldiers in their gear, in their uniforms, with the cannon there, the large cannon being fired. So that'll be a good 4th one, which she'll trace to be sort of the last one to conclude. The intention is that you'll be able to paint through October, pending the availability of tiles. And so we do, if you haven't painted one yet, definitely come down and paint one up. And before they're all gone.
These look intimidating though, like they look professional. I can't imagine doing one. That looks
You're
like
gonna surprise yourself.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like their lines are there, so
Oh,
it's just like a paint by number. You
okay.
know what I mean? Like, so
Okay.
then you just look at the
Oh,
photo.
that makes me feel better.
Yeah. Terry, did you want to give us a story?
Once you realize you're sitting in front of what you're painting, example, the clock tower, you're right, it's really easy.
Is what I suggest is take a picture of the picture and have it on your phone right here as you're doing the thing, and it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I am not an artist, trust me, I'm a stick person. It's for art, and the ones I feel like I painted, I was
Yeah.
actually happy with the result. Yeah,
and it is super relaxing.
it is.
Yeah, it was.
So relaxing.
Yeah.
It
It
was.
really is. Yeah,
Hmm.
that was good. What's next? Stopgap.
Stopgap update. So actually now arrangements have been made with the Stopgap organization to do sort of the ramp as a single batch. So rather than individual submissions, they'll do all the ramps together at once. They're going to do them branded with the Riverwalk District logo, so they turn it into a what would you call that? That you spray paint and then it has the logo on the map, on the ramp. So they'll be able to put the downtown Prescott Riverwalk logo on there and do sort of consistent painting throughout, colors throughout. So they'll all be done basically through that arrangement with Stopgap, with then the businesses that are being invoiced for the 50% of the cost, but they should be able to really limit the delivery charge. They are a nonprofit, so they try to find ways to avoid additional costs. And I was actually had a conversation with the founder stopgap when I was talking to them. And he wanted to assure me that they were their way to avoid onerous delivery charges. And essentially, with the submission of the photos that they require for the actual sizing, once those all get into them, they'll organize volunteers to try to turn the ramps around in 2 to 4 weeks. So once those are in, it should be quick, and they'll paint them, and then we'll essentially organize. Hopefully be able to put them on one of the other shipments that's coming through here, and they can all be sort of delivered simultaneously.
How many businesses participated?
I believe there's a total of 11 that are signed up right now, but there would be additional budget room in that $4,000 to do probably between 8 to 10 more, especially with the limited cost of the delivery. So there would still be space for others to come on board. There are limitations regarding what kind of steps can have the ramps. For example, anything higher than 8 inches, they can't do a ramp for. They said they just have to go too far and for it to make it feasible. And anything where there's sort of like a double rise that doesn't have enough space in between for it, they can't really do a ramp for that either. So there are a number of spaces downtown where they just wouldn't work.
Right.
But there would be others that haven't come on board that would be able to. So hopefully once those first ones come, others will see them. And if that happens in a lot of places, people see them in action and they want one.
Is there time for anybody else to sign up or?
So I don't believe there won't be like a end date on that. And once they're in, then another order could.
Okay. Great. And Riverwalk Thursday update.
That's the associate number out of order. So Riverwalk Thursday update. The weather has been challenging so far. There, I believe, have been at least 3 of the Thursdays that have had to be canceled because of pretty extreme rain. But we have had 2 really good evenings, one with Jumping Jimmy and one with Lyric down at the Clock Tower. Had a lot of crowds coming out just to sit, people coming out just to sit and listen to the music those evenings. And you're supposed to start last Thursday night, but it'll be started because of rain. It was canceled. So this Thursday night, it'll be starting with Folk Fest, arranging for the entertainment for the evening as sort of a pop-up preview. So this week it'll be Keely Brown, a young woman from Kempville who's sort of involved in the local folk scene. We'll be down there from 5 to 7 at the Clock Tower, and we'll have some vendors down there as well. They're promoting it throughout their network as a Folk Fest pop-up, and hope to have a little bit of a crowd down there just coming through and then staying downtown, going for dinner, checking things out on Thursday night. I believe there would be 2 Thursdays left after this one, so coming up towards the end of the summer season, hoping for good weather coming through there and have a few more good nights down there on Thursdays.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Next, I guess, Dana, are you gonna provide the associate member update and the downtown business and development?
Thank you. No, great news. Council supported the recommendation by the BIA to establish the associate member program. So we are essentially off to the races. The BIA can start approaching, identifying individual businesses that they may want to approach for membership that might be interested in the associate membership program. I would suggest we would probably do some public facing marketing to announce that and put it in our next newsletter, which will be coming out soon. And then maybe if any members could start thinking, you know, amongst themselves about any potential businesses they think could be a good fit. Something else that I was thinking of before the meeting, not sure if we actually wanted to form a bit of a subcommittee to discuss how we want to roll this program out, if there are certain businesses we want to target, or just, you know, delegate Justin to roll it out, and maybe you could provide feedback through our regular board meetings as to potential members. That's certainly an option as well. Sadly, but on a positive note as well, we will be hopefully recruiting our first member in Curls and Cuts, who has relocated outside of the BIA core up to Edward Street. So that is a really prime example of a business that will now be able to still, keep part of the board in some shape or form and still, actively contribute and, keep those great ideas coming. So yeah, all positive, and maybe just wanted to put it out to the board to discuss how you want to approach, if you want to look at a committee, or maybe delegate Justin at this point to.
Well, I think to roll it out to begin with, you should have Justin do it, because I understood exactly what you said, but if somebody asks me 6 questions when I tell them, it'll be a mixed message if we all try to do it, maybe. So
Yeah.
maybe to begin with,
Do some public
let the
promotion.
expert do it.
Yeah, and then the members can be sharing that,
Yeah.
right, and direct any
Yeah.
questions to be, but more from the perspective, I guess I was thinking, does the group have any right now, right, that you want us to actively recruit at this point?
Yeah, we can certainly do that.
I think if anyone knows any members, you could shoot an email to Dana or Justin.
Yeah.
And let them know. And I think I guess too, if Justin sends it out, like a mass email, maybe. I don't know, who you would.
And then if we do get any interested parties at
Yeah.
that point, we would, I would suggest at that point, we would have to get a subcommittee formed to actually review. Because there are some eligibility requirements and that go along with that.
And maybe when we're sending it out, maybe just highlight some of the great things that the BIA has participated in this year
Yeah.
and and then maybe that will spur on some
Let's get excited about it.
wanting to participate.
Pet store comes to mind because they were so
Yeah.
involved when they did the
Yeah.
K9.
Mhm.
So they would be
Yeah.
first on my list.
Yeah, we were thinking about them too.
Yeah.
That day when we were down there thinking, my gosh, of course, Pet Value.
Yeah, they did.
Perfect.
They were really,
And they're busy.
Yeah.
You drive by there, they're always busy.
I know.
And it's also a
Yeah.
very similar situation to Curls and Cuts where they used to be
Yes.
downtown
Yeah.
and then expanded and, just outgrew the space
Mhm.
available in the downtown for them. So, yeah, another excellent candidate. So we could do a direct target with them for sure.
Is there a limit to the size of the business to participate? I'm thinking pretty much everybody over the bridge, right? Really? But
So it wasn't so much size, but the criteria was that it should be more of like a destination business, right? A business that would fit naturally within the downtown. Or say a food provider, any sort of restaurant, Nick's, for example, comes to mind. That could be a great example. Any of the restaurants uptown, Tim Hortons, the McDonald's, Burger King, all of those, there's a great opportunity for them to engage with the downtown, and the events is the one that we really think of most. That's such a great opportunity. Tim Hortons is participating in example, the Hutton event right down there at the pop-up, serving refreshments, and it's great exposure maybe to a market you may not capture uptown sometimes. So we would certainly, from that perspective, and I think as far as retail, it would, have to fit that, it's the type of business you would find in a downtown, right? I don't know if we would necessarily be targeting businesses like the likes of, grocery stores or, some of those larger department type stores may not be a fit. But really anything outside of that, manufacturers, no, that's not going to be a fit, right? But there's certainly a lot out there that would. Yeah. Your Family Dollar is another one that has come to mind a lot in our discussions.
Even the gym.
The gym.
Set the equipment up down there and be,
Yep. for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all great fits. Portolano, when they were open,
Oh,
that was another one that was
Mhm.
a big one on, our hit list, so to speak, that we thought
Yeah.
was such a natural fit. Yeah,
What about a place like Ashley Furniture? They kind of are in no man's land, you know what I mean? Like they're off the beaten
yeah.
track, like a furniture store would be downtown.
And you can't
Right.
deny, we have a very thriving furniture and appliance store right within our downtown, yeah.
Yeah.
And there would be nothing to stop them from maybe opening up a satellite location at one point, but that's why I do think it's important that once we start getting, that we establish a subcommittee, right? So we can vet these based on the criteria that the board established and.
Yeah, because I wonder if it would be worth us doing up like a little flyer, maybe a personal visit to the businesses, just to let them know.
And I think that's where the board would, that's where your role is so important, because to have a member of the board maybe make that initial ask. We equip you with the right materials, like right there, what you're seeing, that's all you would have to take in with you. Justin has already prepared that.
Yeah.
And it's very self-explanatory. It takes you to the website that really, breaks it down and provides all those details and contact information if they have follow-up questions. We could certainly equip all members with print and digital copies of this to just start, putting it out there and in your, travels when you're engaging with other businesses.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but we decided it was a calendar year, January to January.
Mhm.
So if somebody signed up in September, we'd just prorate it? Okay.
Yeah.
Just in case we get asked that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we've got a few initial candidates that we could,
Yeah.
start pursuing, and then Justin, I'm sure, will send all these materials out to, and we'll have some hard copies available at the next meeting.
Do you think it would be worth considering if they came on in September to give them a buy on the fees?
I would say if you're coming on this year, yeah,
Just
If they do that at the golf course.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Within like the last quarter of
Yeah.
the year, to me, you're
And it might
you're
just-
automatically in for
Might just spur on that.
sure, kind of an intro,
Yeah, intro.
introductory rate.
Yeah.
If you can, 2025 though. You gotta come out.
Well, that's all good. I'm so happy to see that because we've thought about that for a very long time.
And I will say, council was very pleased too, like they were very receptive to it. I think it's something that, based on feedback that they hear from the community and businesses that are the outliers, right, that aren't part of that core. There's a desire amongst the business community to participate in what's happening here. And I think council was very pleased to see this and thought it was a progressive move on the part of the BIA and certainly wanted to communicate that to the board. It was very well received.
And did you want to talk about business developments, Dana?
Downtown, yes. Okay, so first I'll just take you quickly through CIP projects. I won't spend a lot of time on these because they are a repeat just from our last meeting, because we are trying to just keep a running list so you can see what's been approved throughout the year. But I did want to note, we have 5 applications pending for the August 29th Planning Advisory Committee meeting. So had a bit of a hiatus just with the summer and vacation, hard to get these committees together. But we do have quite a few applications pending, which means you're going to see some activity happening in the downtown from a business standpoint. I would say the majority are 4 out of 5 are downtown properties that are pending. And those numbers haven't changed since the last meeting, but what I really want to point everyone's attention to is one of our recently funded CIP businesses, the Boutique Thrift, just completed their sign installation this week.
I like it.
It looks fantastic.
Really good.
Personally, I think it looks fantastic. They also added the window decals, which is a really nice tie-in with the sign lettering. And lighting will be installed within the next few weeks as well. So that is still to come, but what a facelift.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We should have done a side by side, and that's what we're gonna start doing on the CIP page once I get some
Yeah.
time, is having those success stories and always having the before after.
It's so
Cause
fun.
you wouldn't recognize it
No.
now.
When I saw it yesterday, I'm like, oh, wow, that looks good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, me too. Yeah, you could not see it. It
No.
really
Yeah.
stands out in a good way.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's not like overly brassy or overly anything. It just
No.
blends
Yeah.
really nicely.
It's very tasteful. It really is well complemented by Edward Jones. There's a lot of similarities there and they've kind of carried that through and yeah, to me, I think that type of sign is, it really attracts attention.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can be very overly busy, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
then once the lights go in,
yeah, the signage, the difference in the signage, the
Yeah.
improvements over the last just year even is incredible for the face of King Street.
Yeah.
Like, who else just, the parts store just revamped theirs. I think it was on the same day or day after. I was like, oh, it's like Christmas down here.
Mhm.
And it's just so nice and bright now. It looks so good. Yeah, that program's great. Keep her rolling, ladies.
Yes, that was a very, very exciting development. And now I'll take you into downtown business and development update. So again, just want to point your attention to the photo. This is Wing House's first year anniversary, and that is Mayor Shankar pictured with them, popped in to congratulate them, present them with a certificate last week, and has been very busy making his rounds to different businesses. If you haven't seen him yet, you certainly will. He has a number of certificates to present. Very quickly, I'll just take you through Lamar on Main. This is a recent opening, July 10th. So they've expanded to a new location. They were co-located with Star Wellness, and they've now struck out and opened their own independent location, and they're going to be offering room for stylists to come in, which is a very exciting development. And then we had the Amazing Photography celebrated their soft opening on August 1st. And then we had a number of anniversaries, Wing House on the 16th with their first, the Laundromat with their third anniversary on the 1st, Irving H. Miller, 72nd anniversary.
Yep.
Like,
I haven't been there the whole time.
and you know what I just realized, Tracy? I think I must still live in like the early 2000s. I feel like the most recent certificate we did had 50 some years, and maybe the math was on, so we will rectify that. Check your certificate and let me know if it's wrong. We'll rectify it. But yeah, that is our oldest, it's gotta be our oldest standing business in town.
One of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't think of who would be older at this point. But 72nd anniversary, congratulations. And then Strands, in contrast, celebrated their first anniversary in the downtown. Not first anniversary in Prescott. They relocated from a Curls and Cuts new location.
Just chasing each other
Yeah.
around.
And Water Girl Quilt, fourth anniversary in July. Revolution IT celebrated their fourth on August 1st. Toes and Mead celebrated their second. And Curls and Cuts just celebrated a recent expansion and relocation. And then we have a few upcoming, including Chuck's with their first, Dollar Bazaar with their fifth. The Food Bank will be celebrating their 22nd anniversary this month, and Renegades Restaurant will be celebrating their first. And then upcoming events, we have Garlic Fest, which is a partnership between Fruitful Gardens, the Prescott Farmers Market, and the Pop-Ups. It is going to be garlic everything that weekend. There'll be a lot of different vendors doing garlic themed foods, products, and produce, of course, lots of vendors selling garlic. And then the MPP breakfast hosted by the South Grenville Chamber of Commerce is on September 10th at the Prescott Golf Club. And then Upper Canada Folk Fest is at the Kinsman Amphitheatre on August 24th. And that runs from noon to, I think, about 5:30 or 6. And tickets are only $25 a person this year. And that is a whole afternoon of entertainment. And we've been featuring a lot of their entertainers at our Riverwalk Thursday events and had them our civic weekend. And all fantastic. I think they'll have a really great lineup this year. So certainly try to get out to those events if you can. And I think that's it.
Okay, thank you. So that brings us to item 10, Committee roundtable, new business from members.
Yes, that's my turn. So this is kind of bittersweet, but I'm excited to be open at my new location. But that also means that that's the end of my journey for the around the table. But it sounds like the associate program might be the next way that I'll participate and continue to participate because I do like to be involved, and I'm just excited about everything that's happened just in the short time that I've been on the committee and just for everything to come, because I only see positive things for Prescott, whether it's up, down, downtown, or all together. So I guess thank you and goodbye. Not really. It's a small community, and that's what makes it so great.
Yes.
We'll still be all doing fun things together.
Yeah.
And it doesn't
But I
mean
guess
that you
that's
can't come to our
resignation.
meetings either, like, that's the
Yeah.
thing too, like, we're always trying to encourage, just because you don't sit around the table, it
Yeah.
doesn't mean that, you know, we would love to have every chair in that audience filled,
Yeah,
yes.
I'm gonna join back there. And for most of you that know, I'm kind of uncomfortable on this side of the camera, so I'll be more comfortable back there in some ways. So I guess it all kind of works out anyway, how it should be, so, yeah.
So we'll make the motion that, we accept, Charity's resignation from the Board of Management with deep regret and invite her, of course, to, rejoin as an associate member. Can I have a mover? Ruth, and a seconder? Jeannie, all in favor? Motion carried. Does anyone else have any new business they'd like to bring up? No? That's it? Okay, let's move on to adjournment. The recommendation is that the meeting be adjourned to September the 10th at 5:30 PM. Can I have a mover?